In this video, we will talk about how to determine if a relation is considered a function. So here's the rule. A relation is considered a function if each input value is paired with only one output value. So I have 4 examples for us to work through here of relations. Let's check out this first one. We have a column of input values and a column of output values. So we have a relationship between an input and an output. Now, to determine if this relation is a function, we just need to check, does each input value only have one output value? So let's check out this first input value of 1. We get an output value of 1. We can see that's the only output value that it has. Similarly, this input value of 2 has an output value of 4. That's the only output value it has, so it's not like 4, 5, 6, something like that. And similarly, it's not saying 2 could have an output of 1 and an output of 4, so it only has one output. Similarly, the input 3 only has one output of 9, and the input 4 only has a single output of 16. So we would say that yes, this relation is considered a function because for each input value, we're only getting one output value. All right, let's check out this example. Here we're given a relation where we have xy pairs. So we're given an x value paired with a y value. And we want to know, is this relation considered a function? So all we have to do is just check if each x value only has one y value as an output. So this first x value of 1, we can see that it has a y value of 3. And the x value of 1 doesn't occur again. So that's good. Next we have this x value of 2. It has a y value of 5. We can see that this x value does not show up again. So that's good. And similarly, this x value of 3 has a y value of 6. And this x value of 3 doesn't show up anywhere else. So that's good. But here's where the problem is. Here's an x value of 4 with a y value of 7. And then here's that same x value of 4 and it has a different y value of 9. So because these two y values are different, we're saying we plug in this x value and we're getting out 2 different y values. That means this is not a function. So we would say no, because the x value 4 has more than just one single output value. Here we have an output value of 7, and here we have an output value of 9. So that makes it not a function. All right, let's check out this example. Here we're given a row of x values and a row of y values, and we want to know if this relation between x and y is a function. So we just need to check, does each x value only have one y value? So for example, this first x value of 1, we can see it only has one y value of 5. And this next x value of 2, it only has one y value of 5. Now you might be thinking, is this a problem that these two x values have the same y value? No, that's not a problem, because the only criteria is that an x value only has one y value as an output. If two x values happen to have the same y value, that's perfectly valid. That's not an issue. So moving on, we have an x value of 3, which only has one y value of 7. And then lastly, we have an x value of 4, which only has one corresponding y value of 7. So similarly, 3 and 4 both share the same y value, but that's okay because we're only concerned if each x value has one corresponding y value. So for this one, we would say yes, this relation is a function. Each x value only has one y value. All right, let's check out this example. We're given a column of domain values or input values, along with a column of range values or output values. We want to determine if this relation between the domain and the range is considered a function or not. So let's check if each input value in the domain only has one output value. So we can see this first value of 2 only corresponds to 8 in the output. So that's good. This input value only has one output value. But we can see this next input value of 5 in the domain, it corresponds to both 8 and 12 in the range column, which means that this single input value of 5 has 2 different output values. So right away we would say that no, this is not a function. Because remember, each input value or each domain value is only allowed to have one output value or one range value. So those were just a few different examples of how to determine if a relation is considered a function.